Good evening. My name is Debbie Jacobs, and I thought I would do another video on controlling our thoughts. You know, our thoughts run on autopilot, and they will just, the mind will feed us thoughts, and we are kind of just on the receiving end. We are a slave to the mind. Whatever the mind dictates, we follow or we listen to or we believe. And then the mind, obviously, we all know, can give us some pretty bad thoughts. Can call us an idiot, can call us, stupid, right? Can make us feel insecure. It's all what the mind is feeding us. But you know what we actually have to do? We have to start trying to take our mind off of autopilot and go from having the mind feed us thoughts to us controlling our thoughts. And basically, how that happens, first of all, it's not an easy process. It takes commitment and determination. It's not something that you can start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. You have to start it and be committed to seeing it through until the end, until you have gained control of your thinking and your mind is off of autopilot. And basically, what that process is. First of all, it takes awareness. You have to be really, really aware of your thoughts. You can't just be, unconscious to the thoughts that your mind is feeding you, because we all know the thoughts that are going through our head, but we're unconscious to it because we're not doing anything about it. We're just like, on the receiving end of all these thoughts. So it becomes like this tug of war, and we need to go to battle for our own thinking. And basically, it's like if it's a thought that you don't want to think, don't think it. Stop it. Stop thinking thoughts that don't serve you. And basically, how you stop a thought is kind of like clenching your butt cheeks. You just do. You stop the thought. You do actually have control of your thinking, even if you're not in control of your thinking. And basically, if I was to say to you, "What is your name?" and you were to say, "My name is Debbie," you just controlled your thought. So, what you can do to get yourself out of the negative thinking, out of any thought that you don't want, is to literally redirect the mind to a topic that you want to think about. Like if you were to, thinking about something, you're in a fight with your ex-husband and or your husband, whatever, and you're thinking all this rumination and negativity and you hate him and it's so terrible, blah, 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 blah. You're staying in the negative and you're unconscious to it. So what you want to do is you want to get out of that negative conversation. And there's like, you can visualize it as like being here on the negative, get out onto the positive side. And when you get out of the negative, that's how you get out of the pain, because the negative thoughts actually create pain for us in the moment. So then instead of thinking, your husband's such an asshole or whatever, you can be on the positive and be like, okay, how can I fix this situation? Right? Try and be solution oriented and start thinking, what can I do to make the situation better? Because when we make the situation better, who are we making the situation better for? We're making it for ourselves and we're making it for whoever else involved, but we're making the situation better, increasing our happiness, for our greater good, our highest good. And basically, anytime you're in negative thinking, that is your unconsciousness. And a lot of times people stay in it, and what happens? It gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Or you get deeper, 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 into the thought process, and now you get all angry. Or you could, feel bad about yourself, or you can even feel suicidal. So, really taking control of our thoughts is always getting it out of the negative and into a productive, topic. Whether it be, what are my goals? What am I going to have for dinner? What do I want in my life? What am I grateful for? Whatever. But you want to start taking yourself out of the negative thinking, plopping yourself into some positive thinking, okay? And that actually is kind of like changing the channel. You're like, oh, nope, I'm not going to think that. I'm not going to think, I'm not going to sit here and ruminate and dwell in this negative energy, I'm going to get myself out. I'm going to get myself into the positive. And you know that by doing that, it means positive thinking. And I have like a whole slew of, topics that I think of. I don't think about how bad things are going, how lonely I am, how like things in my life. I don't think about anything that's negative. I keep it all focused on what I want to accomplish. What can I do to make myself feel good? What can I do to have fun? How could I, appreciate myself? What could I do to, what am I gonna have for dinner? How can I stay focused on my goals? And let me tell you something. I think a lot about how can I bring healing and happiness to people living in their pain. How can I bring, this healing process that I created to people living in mental illness? I was living in depression, anxiety, and bipolar. I got a hold of my thinking. I reprogrammed my mind with positivity. I changed my coping skills. I changed the way I speak. I changed the way I write. I changed everything about myself. That's a transformation of self from the negative to the positive. And to be quite honest, this is time sensitive. So I really try and, make this, you know, um, I give a lot of thought as to how can I, have success and breakthrough. I do these videos. I post on Facebook, So I got to keep myself productive. Also keep my thoughts productive. So we have non-productive thoughts and productive thoughts. Productive thoughts serve our highest good. If it doesn't serve our highest good, it's not a productive thought. Uh, Non-productive thoughts are negative thinking and all thoughts that don't serve us. Like I'm not going to sit here and think, oh, does this person. I am going to eliminate from my consciousness, my thinking. And basically, you know, that's part of controlling our thoughts, going through all of our thoughts. Like the path, I don't care. Guess what? I don't think about aging. I don't think about anything that I know is not going to help me in my life and my happiness. You know, and you have to get rid of all this stuff that doesn't serve you because it's in our mind because our mind was programmed. By our childhood in our childhood, but it really was kind of programmed like everything in the kitchen sink. We don't need everything. We have to part of controlling our thoughts is also to gain clarity. So we want to gain clarity with thought by getting rid of thoughts that don't serve us and operating from a place of thinking rational thoughts, sane thoughts, grounded thoughts that serve our highest good. So that's all that I have going through my head. I got rid of all my negative thoughts, thoughts that don't serve me, like thoughts like, I don't even really think of my parents. I keep my parents in my heart because they passed away, but I don't keep them in my mind. I don't keep grief in my mind, I don't keep painful memories in my mind. Like and I want to stay present. So I want to really, clear my mind of the past. I can have the past in storage. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't need to be in the house, in the main house. It could be in storage. I don't forget anything. I forget everything, but I just don't have it in my consciousness. You know what I mean? Like my parents. And basically, it is making the effort, the committed effort to start directing yourself, whatever it is, whether it's worry, whether it's fear, whether it's anxiety, get yourself out of it and into positive thinking. That's your assignment, and with commitment and determination. And if you stick to, making change for yourself, you will reach the finish line of being free of this negative thinking and these negative ineffective coping skills. And I will tell you one thing right off the bat: worry is like stop it. If you have something that you're thinking about, you can think about strategize. how can I create, the outcome that I want, and let me think that way. What do I do? I don't want to worry. I want to strategize. And really, it actually is even better because it helps you to prepare and plan for the situation that you're worrying about when worrying does nothing. That's the difference between negative and positive thinking. Negative is non-productive. Positive is productive, right? So, but basically, you have to introduce or invite the conscious mind into the conversation. So if your mind calls you an idiot, the conscious mind says, "No, you're not an idiot, and don't call me an idiot. I don't want to be putting myself down. But it takes a while because these are ingrained behaviors and beliefs. So it takes a while to actually see the results, but you got to stick with it because the results are freedom and happiness from this negative thinking. So I just wanted to do a video because we all have this mind that just did not come with instructions, right? Nobody knows how to use it because it's on autopilot. And people will sit there and think like, God, I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. And that's painful. It is painful. Or they'll think, oh my God, I want to kill myself. You know what I mean? But they don't know how to get themselves out of that thinking. And they don't even try. We need to get ourselves out of the thinking that doesn't serve us. And that's just by changing the channel, stopping your thought process, which you can do even by saying something. It's easier at the beginning to say something because that will break it right up. My name is Debbie, and then say, okay, you know what? I'm going to think about what am I going to have for dinner. And now I'm going to, control my thoughts, give my mind a topic to think about, and think about should I have pizza or a sandwich or whatever. But the point is to get it's not that I want to think about dinner, it's that I wanted to get myself out of the negative thinking, and I did. And when you start to develop new, safe zones where it's okay for me to think about this endlessly because it's not gonna negatively affect me, and it's not negative thinking, and it's not gonna put me in a bad mood or make me feel bad about myself or anything. And then what you do is you try and just stay in safe zones as much as possible until you no longer go back to the autopilot of negative thinking. And another thing is that meditation definitely helps. Definitely. Yeah, because meditation is the practice of silencing the mind. So when you can silence the mind, like it makes it easier to change thoughts. To stop your thinking, to go from negative thinking to productive thinking. So meditation, and it also helps to slow down the mind, calm the mind. It helps with clarity, and a meditation practice of like 20 minutes a day, and then to continue with meditation until you're really able to and pretty much able to just keep your shut your internal chatter, keep your thoughts quiet, you know because that a lot of our insecurities, fears, worries all live in our internal chatter. So that's another thing. You want to focus on getting rid of the internal chatter so it doesn't perpetuate the autopilot. All right, my name is Debbie Jacobs. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.